Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It was about a year and a half ago that I was first introduced to this issue. And I'm not going to tell you the whole story of my entire journey there, but I want to highlight a few things. But before I do that, I do want to say thank you to a few people that have been integral to this process. And they may or may not have been mentioned. I wasn't here for every second of every previous remark, but I want to thank Sarah Speed of the Democratic Caucus, and then Whitney Crossy, Tom Dimmick, and Karen Dalton in the House Republican Caucus. They've done a great job on putting all this together, working on the amendments, literally over 200 amendments, and I would love for us to just give a round of applause to them. About a year and a half ago, I got a phone call from a young lady by the name of Dana Ulrich. She called me and she told me the story of her child, Lorelei. And I listened intently, as I do with constituents when they call the office. And I forget how long I spoke with her, but she didn't press me that day to make a decision. She didn't press me to say yes or no on the issue, but she asked me to take a look at some research she was going to send me. She asked me to have an open mind. That was the beginning of my journey, because she sent me information and I took the time to read it, I took the time to do some additional research, and that was the beginning of the process where I realized that we cannot keep the status quo in Pennsylvania. A number of months beyond that, and I met Lolly. Lolly told me a similar story of her daughter, Anna. Not too long after that, I met Luke, and then Eric. Luke is a veteran who has shrapnel next to his spine. He has trouble sitting down. He has to either lay down or stand up most of the time to deal with the pain that he has from the shrapnel in his back. Eric suffers from tremendous PTSD, and getting marijuana illegally, for a decorated military vet, getting marijuana illegally right now has been the only thing that has helped. He has shelves and shelves of medications given to him by doctors, VA, etc., but they knock him out. He can't remember what happened over the course of 6 and 8 hours at a time when he takes those medications. But one of the questions that Dana asked me in that first phone call was, she made the statement that, you may not know me, you may not know my daughter, and I get that, but she said, think of your own family. Surely someone in your own family has suffered. And it didn't take me long, because I have a daughter who is now 17 who had open heart surgery at 4 months. She's had an additional 6 or more surgeries. I lost track of the exact number. I thought of my wife, who has had multiple C-sections. We've got 5 children, 3 of those were C-sections. She can't take pain medications because they make her deathly ill. Imagine having your stomach sliced open from a C-section and then feeling like you have to throw up. And I think of my mother-in-law, who had open heart surgery last February. Each of these 3 individuals means a lot to me, and that's right in my own family. But that conversation was the beginning of my journey. And since then, I've done hours and hours of research. I've read through thousands of pages of documentation in print and on the internet. And I sat through the same 3 days of testimony that Chairman Baker sat through. I walked away from those 3 days of testimony with a vastly different opinion than was just shared a few moments ago. I came away with the opinion, and I feel that it's backed by plenty of research, that doctors are in the best position to make the call on what their patients should be receiving. And doctor after doctor that I've spoken with, and numerous doctors who testified, refused to shut the door on medical marijuana as a medication. They refused to slam the door shut. Most of them, in fact, said, we would love the FDA to do something. Doctors are in a unique position. They can't go head-to-head against the federal government without losing their ability to prescribe medications, and that's something that's very valuable in their profession. Doctors refuse to give up hope that we have some future with this for their patients. Hundreds of individuals have made their way through the Capitol over the last several months. In many cases, they've made their way through the Capitol and into the hearts of the legislators that they've spoken with. And that's obvious by a lot of the discussion we've had on this amendment, or this bill this week. I'm going to ask you the same question that Dana asked me 18 months ago, and that is, if you don't care about the individuals sitting out in the rotunda, the individuals walking through the hallways at different points over the last couple of years, think of someone in your own family. I think of a conversation I had with a fellow legislator. I'm looking at him right now, and it was an eye-opening conversation for me. He said, you know what? I think of a story of my own son and how he didn't have another option. The doctor said, I don't know if it's going to work, but let's give it a shot. He and his wife agreed to it, and his child is still with them today because of that. That's the journey that I hope all of us would be willing to take. If not now, don't let this be the end of discovery on this issue. Continue to dig into this. Let's make this a law, and then let's continue to make it better. There are better ways to do it. No legislation ever passes the House and Senate perfectly. But don't take away the hope that the people in the gallery and the people in the rotunda have for an option that they have not yet had. Some have moved out of the state, some visit other states at their own risk. Let's not take away that hope. It was Anne Frank, young lady from the Holocaust era, who stated, when there's hope, there's life. It fills us with fresh courage and makes us strong again. Today we have the opportunity of offering hope to the parents of these children, to the patients, offering them the hope of letting them, along with their doctors, decide how to best treat the conditions they're dealing with on a daily basis. Let's pass Senate Bill 3 to give hope. Thank you.